I am an athlete. Oh, wait for the story. Yes, me, the girl who was picked last for every sports activity in school. The girl who struck out at softball. The girl who had absolutely no natural ability and failed every one of those presidential physical fitness tests. When I was 5 years old, my mother took me for swim lessons. But when all the other moms ran errands, my mom stayed clutching the fence yelling, "Don't drown my baby!" So needless to say, I didn't learn to swim either. I wanted to be on a team. I wanted to win a race. I wanted to not be embarrassed or afraid. I wanted to be an athlete. But since I was the four-eyed class academic, no one expected it of me. But I pursued it. I learned to shoot a basketball, so I decided to try out for the girls' basketball team in high school. Instead of going to the court that first day, they took us outside to run a mile around the track. I was so exhausted and achy, I didn't go back for day 2. The coach didn't have to cut me. After I earned my degree in biochemistry, I had to take 2 PE classes in order to teach science. Oh well, I always wanted to learn ballet, so I'll take that. Well, I was 22 and round compared to all the 18-year-old lifelong ballerinas in class. And the teacher said to put our foot on the bar. Everybody's leg raised in unison. All except mine. The next week, the teacher brought out a portable bar. You know, it has 2 levels in case anybody needed to use it. All the ballerinas looked at her like she was speaking blasphemy. And I was like, "Thank you." I now realize that might have been the kiddie bar. But thank goodness the class was pass-fail. I passed. I took a much more successful bowling class. So when the work team said, "Let's do a team building activity and go bowling," I was all in. Because, you know, I could avoid the most embarrassing thing in bowling, which is a gutter ball. No, wrong. It is not the most embarrassing thing. The most embarrassing thing is not letting go of the ball soon enough and stepping across the line and going sliding on your back on the overwaxed floor all the way down towards the pins. And nobody could come and help me. So there I was on all fours, slipping and crawling back up to solid ground. That was embarrassing. Now, my first attempt at athleticism as an adult was ice skating lessons. The rink said that my 5-year-old should wear a helmet, knee pads, elbow pads, and wrist pads to his lesson. Since my athletic track record was not good, and I needed to go to work the next day, I wore a helmet, knee pad, elbow pads, and wrist pads to my adult lesson as well. I'm sure the instructor thought, "Wait till I tell my friends about the lady who got the kiddie equipment list and followed it." That was until, I think you guessed it, I slipped and fell and kept falling until my head went boom on the ice. And I remember her speed skating toward me yelling, "I'm so glad you're wearing a helmet." Now I had asked my husband to drive me to the rink in case I got injured, you know, track record. And so on the way home, I said, "Do you think anybody saw my embarrassing moment?" And he goes, "I don't know if anybody saw it, but everybody heard it." But a few years later, I was 41, and I wanted to really get fit so I wouldn't have a heart attack at 45 like my dad. So I got a personal trainer, and I started strength training. And I enjoyed that. And then I found Zumba. Any other Zumba divas in the room? All right. I am not a morning person. But I like to dance so much that I got up for 5:30 a.m. classes for 8 years. I started seeing muscles in the mirror. and my body started to obey me. So just before my 48th birthday, when a friend started a running group, I joined. I wasn't fast, but I gradually started to cover the distance, my first 5K, my first 10K. The next spring, I joined a Fleet Feet training program, and I found my tribe. The mentors ran with me. They gave me techniques and tips for safety and how to run faster. That didn't help, but anyway, faster. The fellow runners encouraged me to run my race, my pace. I'm still not fast. Okay, here's a translation. I am slow. But I have been running year-round ever since. Then I started to ride my bike and found true love. I joined Bloomington Cycle and Fitness for winter indoor training rides and summer spokeswomen rides, and I had a ball. And then on one of those spokeswomen rides, a friend said, "Hey, why don't you participate in a duathlon? Run, bike, run, done." But that was followed by my current craziness. During a New Year's Eve run, one of the ladies, might have been that same spokeswoman, she talks me into stuff, announced that Fleet Feet was going to have a women's triathlon training program. The goal race would be the 2016 Esprit de Ski Sprint Triathlon, but we had to register before the price went up at midnight. Now, I was truthful. I advised them that I could not swim. But they said the race is 6 months away, and we're going to train together, and I could do it. So in order to save an entire $10, I went home and registered for the race that night and signed up for the Women's Triathlon Training Program. And I soon found out that I was not just a beginning swimmer, but thanks to "Don't Drown My Baby," I was a pretty anxious one as well. But not to be thwarted, I signed up for a triathlon swim training program too. Now, their goal race was the Pioneer Sprint in Petersburg, Illinois. The pool is only 4 to 5 feet deep, they said. You can stand at any point during the race, they said. You got this, they said. And they were so wrong. I got there that morning. I racked my bike in transition, and then I went in to see the 4 to 5 foot deep pool calm my nerves. And the line at the bottom of the pool went down out of sight. You should have seen me. I was scanning the wall, scanning the deck. How deep is this pool? 13 feet. I can't do it. I'm taking my bike and going home. But thank you to the coach who calmed me down. My Fleet Feet training women group gave me some strategies and being great encouragers. I was dead last, but I finished my first triathlon. I also completed that Esprit de Ski triathlon, not once, but twice. Now, that's a long race in a quarry that's about 15 feet deep. So I owe a debt of gratitude to the swim angels. They're the women in the white swim caps that swam alongside me the whole race, making sure I stayed on course and reassured me when I got scared, because my backstroke, which was all I knew at that point, really did let me see where I was going. But fast forward to 2021. I've completed a combination of 33 sprint triathlons, duathlons, 10K, 15K, and half marathon races, and a whole lot of 5K races. When my friend Julie said, "You're not the slowest runner, it's just that those who are slow are afraid to try," I became a Fleet Feet training mentor. And I currently encourage and inform a group of African American women who were walking and running and biking and training for triathlons. Thanks to U.S. Master Swimming, the many swim instructors, my tri-training buddy, maybe every swim coach in town, my swim anxiety is almost gone. And my freestyle is starting to go the distance. When I post my training and racing on Facebook, my greatest joy is when a friend says, I got a bike and started riding. Your post motivated me. Or I started running and I completed a 10K. Or I'm learning to swim. I thought if MEE-tah could do it, well, you know. My loving and proud husband calls me FloJo. And our high school classmates even refer to me as an athlete. Now, one afternoon, my son Christian advised that he had used me as an example in his AP psychology class. An example of what? Oh, a midlife crisis. Who told him I was at midlife? I mean, what? You know, due to my obsession with running, biking, and swimming, I was like, no, I'm not having a midlife crisis, because everything I knew about a midlife crisis involved leaving your family and buying a sports car. But then I conceded that if I was having a midlife crisis, I was only leaving home for 3 hours at a time. At that point, I was only riding a hybrid. It wasn't even a road bike. And I was coming back better than when I left. At my first duathlon, a friend cheered me with a sign that said, difficult does not equal impossible. If I can learn to swim and compete in endurance races, even win a few age group awards, imagine what we all can do. I am an athlete. Scratch that, I'm a triathlete.